All right, let's go ahead and get started. I will share my screen here, and hopefully all of you can see that now. Good if you can, I hope. And again, this is the regular Wednesday weekly JV partner webinar, which occasionally is misnamed because, for example, right now there are no JV partners on the call, but that's because they're all busy working. So just to share with you what I'm going to talk about today, Bill Deweese, who told me he's the voiceover guy, who told me he wasn't going to be able to be on the call, is absent, but I've got a bunch of things to talk to you about that he's doing. The publishing seminar coming up in Anaheim next week. And again, for those of you who haven't taken a look at that, it's at publishingseminar.com. And if you're in anywhere near the LA area or nearby, please stop in. That's Monday, August the 1st. And a couple of other things here that I wanted to talk to everyone about. So let's go ahead and get started in earnest. Bill Deweese can't be here today, but one of the things that we're doing is I wanted to go over with you some of the things that he is doing and has done, as a matter of fact, that have been incredibly interesting for everyone who's in the information marketing business. All of these steps that he's taken would be very, very useful to you if you aren't doing them already. So let's go through a few of them here. I just wanted to list a few for you. Number one is lots of free content. That means lots of free content in the form of videos in his case. Okay, so he's got plenty of free content, and if you wanted to, you could see those all at voice-over-training.org. And you can take a look at those. Hey, Vish, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Just going over a few things here. The other thing that Bill is doing is that he is invested in some search engine optimization stuff. And one of the things that we're trying to do to monetize that is he's putting on a few different seminars. And one of the seminars, he just found this new system. And again, think about this for your own business, no matter what field you're in, which is that Bill came up with, and I'll just show you an example of this. And let me put this, let me do it this way. Just put that right here for now. And he came up with the term audiobookSeminar.org, actually, because we chose the .org. We also registered the .com. This is just a placeholder page right now. A placeholder page has nothing to do with reality. But the idea here is that Bill has discovered something that a lot of voiceover people will want to know. So what we said was, okay, well, what we should probably do is put together a seminar. So it's about audio books. And Bill, if you may want to mute yourself. You got a little noisy there. You're just coming in. Or is that Ravish? Okay. So
might be me. I bumped my microphone.
Gotcha. Audiobooks and audiobook recording is what he's doing. So he's putting together a separate event just for these folks. It's currently scheduled, and this is what we did. I think it's scheduled for about 7 weeks from now. And so that means that. And the price point is going to be about probably around $495. It's going to be a one-day event. And the whole idea here is that Bill has discovered some things that voiceover artists should know. He has an existing list of people. He has a bunch of following in that field. So what he did was he took this new thing, which is showing people how to make money doing audiobook recording, and he's been extremely successful getting those jobs. So he's putting together a brief, like, one-day event. And so right now he's doing all the outlines, but he's also putting together the copy for it. And so that will be up probably within the week. I told him to do that because if you think about it, and he's doing it, he lives near Chicago, so he's doing it at Chicago's, or at a hotel near Chicago's O'Hare Airport. And again, it's a one day, it's $495. It's all about audiobook recording. And I think that, he's got an existing list that's pretty small. And this is sort of encouraging for everybody else listening. I think his list right now is, somewhere around 200 people. And there's a good chance that, again, keeping it near the airport for a 1 day seminar and doing it, I think we decided, I'm pretty sure, on a Saturday, it allows people that are relatively near Chicago even to fly in and fly out on the same day. That's what we're trying to make it easy for them to do. So again, he's got this new information, putting it together in a 1 day event, and since Bill isn't here to talk about it, then we might as well just talk about a few other things. Avish, you were working on a few things for us, and one of them was the funny training videos.
Hmm.
And I think that's probably a good idea to sort of explain. Just let's talk through some of this stuff. So now we've established a date to record them, right?
Yep.
Okay, and so our next step is to write the scripts, and we're going to go with a total of about 5 initial topics, right?
Well, I think we said three, but maybe we'll have three, and then we'll have kind of two more in case we have time left over. But for our first ones, I think we want to make sure we walk with at least three finished ones.
Yeah, and so we picked. I thought we had 5 because of the efficiency of getting the actors and stuff together. That's what I have in my notes. But anyway, um, so what we want to do then is write the scripts somewhere in the 3 to 5 topic range here, and each of those is going to end up being a total of about 30 finished minutes of video. And what's going to happen is then we also have to find the actors, which in this case, Avish has a group of people, and that's going to be, you've already told all those folks?
I told some I'm waiting to hear back from, but they're all kind of putting it aside. So
Okay, good. So we got people in Philadelphia that are former improv buddies of Avish. So those are our actors. And our next step then is to find a camera crew, and that would entail probably in something like this, we're looking at 3 people usually. Probably, one audio guy, one shooter, as we call it, doing the camera, and a producer. That's usually what that would entail. And so we're going to pick. Did we pick the location yet?
no,
Okay, so the
I mean,
next.
other than the Philadelphia area, no.
Yeah, so we need an actual location to shoot. And the first thing that we want to do is, since this is going to be sort of more corporate stuff, it'd be nice if somebody had access to something that was marginally business-like.
Yeah.
Got it. So we're putting all these pieces together, and this is going to be something that we're going to be putting together. And one of the reasons why we did this is and we should probably show people this, training videos. So we go to training videos. I think this is probably one of the ones we clicked on here. And here's one. So let's see, bestsellers. Look at their bestsellers. And here's some topics: leadership, ethics, communication, personal development. So we have a number of different topics here. So let's take a look at their customer service ones. Okay, and this is, let's click on Make It Matter. And let's see how much this costs. If you can see here, it's $795. Buy the DVD. Let's check on the other option, which is 5-day rental. 5-day rental, $275. So you can see that it's not a bad thing to do if you can have some people that will buy them, because we're looking at somewhere around $700 to $800 per sale of a DVD, and then somewhere between $200 to $300 per rental, which is 5 days, which is, if you think about it. So now our question is, what are some of the costs going to be here? And so we're figuring on, and what did we decide to pay those actors?
Well, for my first circle of friends, I think we decided zero for the day, and then we'd pay them out of profits when they manifest later on.
Got it.
I think up to a cap of like 500, which is a
Yep.
decent amount for a 2-day shoot.
Up to $500 per day or for the total.
I think we had said total.
Yeah, and they'll be happy with that, and they'll have some good tape. Now, the other thing is, one of the things is when you're using friends and people like this, the question is, what are they going to be getting out of this? And one of the nice things that we can give to them is we can certainly give them some of their scenes, put together in some kind of a demo video so that they can then use it to get more work. And I'm sure they'll appreciate that, right, Avish?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of the people I'm reaching out to may not necessarily be pursuing acting. They've just done it with me in the past, so I know they have skill.
Got it.
The ones who are actually pursuing it and would be interested in that may not be willing to do it for totally free, but depends how well I know them and who I can find. So.
Okay, so some of them we may have to give some money up front, some compensation, and then the idea is, plus additional sort of piece based on sales.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so that's a pretty good idea. So in looking at this, if we were to look at, let's just say that we had, we're obviously the actors then become a variable cost. The only fixed cost, and do you think we can get the question then is venue. Can we get a venue for free? You think we can find something? Somebody
I'm
having
going to try for free, see if I know anyone who has access to a building we can use for the weekend. I think I know someone who would get us one for cheap, if not for free.
Okay, and so let's put, I don't know, what kind of a price tag do you think we should put on there on the high end? What do you think for the 2 days?
On the high end, I don't know, I put like 500.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 500 for office or space rental. Okay, so now we're looking at, and then we've got the crew, and that is going to then we're going to have to do, and then the editing, and then luckily, since the lovely Amanda is available for that, it's sort of free, but she'll be compensated after the fact as well. So again, that's going to be sort of a deferred comp for her, but she's going to give us her sweat equity. Have we talked her into that yet?
Not specifically, but I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Okay, good. So again, the real big money here up front is for the crew, and again, depending on various factors, this could end up being, let's say, somewhere, I'm guessing, let's say $3,500. So if we hire a real good crew, we get them for 2 days, we do this, $3,500, maybe $4,000, I'm guessing, thereabouts. So we're looking at, not a whole lot of money, and the reason why it's easy to get excited about this is because just look at this. At $700 to $800 per sale and $200 to $300 per rental, it doesn't take a whole lot of money. So now the real effort is going to have to go into the writing and coming up with some good scripts, which, by the way, Avish, I think that the way that we do this is, we have sort of a standard, and I think everybody listening could probably get a lot out of this same kind of model, which is when you're shooting these, we're probably going to end up with, we're going to illustrate points, and each of those points is going to be illustrated with a scene. And so I would imagine that, would you guess, Avish, that we're going to have, no more than a total, if we're going to have 30 minutes total, we can't have more than probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 points that we're illustrating, right?
Oh, yeah, most. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at, let's just say, 8 to 10 points to illustrate, and we're going to do that. Then we're going to have a little bit on the front end, a little bit on the back end, and so again, we're looking for 30 finished minutes of video. The reason why we did that is we looked at this and all of the other training videos that are out there, and if you look at these, you can see that I think they have some kind of indication of how long they are, don't they? Most of these do. Oh yeah.
Most of them do, yeah.
In a mere 20 minutes, this says. Okay, so I mean, again, we're probably most of the training videos that you see will run somewhere in the neighborhood of around, a maximum usually of 30 minutes. So 5 questions every leader must ask. Okay, now notice the other thing that's sort of cool here is we've got the trailer that people can watch, and so it's certainly not a problem. For here it is, runtime 27 minutes. So there we have it. We put it together, and to figure out whether or not, what we would do is we would then show the potential crew. We would show them this video and say, hey, we're trying to do something like this. Notice this one is $8.95, so that's all good. I think we're on the right track there, Avish. So now all we have to do is let's figure out what we have to do in terms of the topics and start writing. And I'm sure we can get that all done nicely before the time we have to do it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So now, the other thing I wanted to point out to everybody is this Khan Academy, which is a really good example. Academy.org. KhanAcademy.org. And this, I spelled it wrong, didn't I? No, I didn't. KHAM, that's right. KhanAcademy.org. Why is it not coming up? Hold on. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, the Khan Academy, I was watching some TED Talk, and this guy was talking about what he's doing, and he's been out there for a little while. And the idea here is that there are, now, the thing that you want to take note of here is this figure. 66 million videos have been viewed. Now, just to show you, browse over 2,400 educational videos. These include, he's into, training kids, so he's got algebra, and there's all kinds of algebra stuff. Each one of these, by the way, is an individual video. And if you just pull up any one of them, absolute value as an example, we'll pull that up. It goes to a YouTube video. And these, by the way, if you take a look at this one's 3 minutes and 22 seconds long. Not very long at all. And the point here is that you don't really need to make long videos, but you need to break them up into what I called, in the blog post I did earlier today, mini modules. And this guy has got literally 2,400 different videos. And if you want to take a look at some funny ones, they're good ones in the brain teaser area. But the idea here is I would use this as a model for how to do this kind of mini module stuff. And again, he uses, and just to give you an idea of how, we're not talking fancy high production stuff. Here's phases of meiosis. And if we click on that, just to show you briefly what kind of quality the video is here, it's pretty interesting because it's certainly not, Academy Award winning stuff. And it's not coming up though, so I don't know what's going on here. Let me try another one. Ape Cliff.
Fred, while that's loading, do you know if and how he's monetizing the site?
Well, yeah, Bill Gates just gave him $1.5 million because he likes him.
Oh, that's something.
He's monetizing the site because, trust me, you don't need to worry about monetization when you get 66 million people viewing stuff. That monetization is going to be a no-brainer. So what he's done is, and again, if you think first about creating really good content, and let me see if a simple equations here will, I don't know if this is not coming up because of here's one. Okay, so simple equations. Take a look at this. And we're not talking any kind of real super high-tech stuff here. I like this guy, by the way.
Let's say we have the equation 7 times x. 7 times x is equal to,
I'm going to put it ahead here just
so that
to show
you really understand.
So he writes on this board with different colored pens. That's all he does. And this guy has become almost probably world famous as an educator. And the point that I'd want to make is whatever topic that you're involved in, if you can break it up into the smallest possible pieces and put together something like this, it's just a matter, and Bill DeWeese is doing that. If you go to Bill's site, he's got 63 videos and broken up into the various different pieces. This guy is doing it with education. Now, he's also monetizing it because what can happen is here both parents and students sign up, and then they give you all kinds of great tracking material to see where your kids are going. So this guy, I'm completely blown away by his understanding of the fact that people want to get things in very, very bite-sized form. And so he's done that in this, and he's done it with topics that kids are interested in, and so obviously now parents. And basically, he's going to turn education on his head, because from now on, if you use his theory, and there are a couple of municipalities that are using it, is what's happening is that his videos are being used. They're turning the classroom and homework upside down. So now what's happening is that kids are going to be getting their lectures at home, and then when they come to school, any problems that they have, their teachers will help them with one-on-one. So they'll get the standard lectures that they're normally doing now in class at home via video, and then coming to class and working out any problems that they have, and it's seeming that it's working like gangbusters. So the whole idea is here, I would have everybody go to the site to just look at how simple these videos are. And you're right, the question is, okay, so how do you monetize them? Well, once you have 2,400 videos and you've caught the attention of Bill Gates and done a TED Talk, it's really not too difficult to do that. So the question is, how many videos, how many bullets of information, how many different modules of information, if broken up into anywhere from 3 to 5 to 15-minute segments, can you put together for your particular area? And doing that, I think, is pretty good. Bill, did you see this guy's TED Talk, by the way? Bill O'Hanlon? Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw it long ago.
Yeah.
Blew me away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, and the way that he's done this is, the reason why I started looking for this kind of stuff is that the kids, my stepkids, needed some remedial math kind of stuff, and I thought that this was just really, really well done. And I think that everybody in the information marketing business can learn from this. And so what I thought that everyone should probably start doing is to really granularize the topics. And so, Avish, we did that pretty well at Speaking Expert, I think, with, and which page is it now that has the entire product there that's broken up into all the different modules?
If you go to products, it's the first link.
Okay.
You click on the products tab.
Okay, click on products tab here. Okay, so it's the first link, you say?
Yeah, it says.
So what happens here? Okay, so check it out here now. This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we did is we took every aspect of professional speaking and we broke it down in this kind of granularity. And so module 1, getting started in the speaking business, of which we had, and each one of these checkmarked items, and correct me if I'm wrong, Avish, each one of these became a mini module, correct?
Yeah, each one of those is an actual MP3 track.
Right.
Oh no, sorry.
So by mini module, I mean it's got some concentrated information just on one topic, correct?
Yeah, that's what each of those check marks is.
Got it. And so in other words, that within the category of module getting started in the speaking business, you'd have to count each one of these, but there are, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 within track 1, and track 2, presentation skills. There's a lot of individual, what I call mini modules. And when I'm talking about mini modules, the latest blog post on my site is all about that. But each one of these check marks serves as a mini module. So we've broken it down into really, really fine granularity. How many total of the MP3s did we have? Do you remember? At least 200.
Exactly 50 MP3s.
50 total?
50 total MP3s, and then however many check marks under each one. So.
Oh, I see. So it's 50 times. There's 50 MP3s, but we've got different. Like each one of these has its own. Have we broken it up into separate MP3s? Like say track 7 here, professional speakers and books. Why you must write a book. Is that separate from 3 ways a book will help you?
No, that's all the information that's on that one track.
Got it. Okay, so we've broken it up into 50, and if you think about it, 50 separate MP3s for the topic of professional speaking is pretty granular in itself. And so what I would encourage everybody who's listening to do or watching to do is to take your topic and break it up. And Dave Hamilton, you've done that a little bit with some of the videos for people to learn how to use things, right? Is that true, Dave Hamilton? Okay, let's move to Avish. Avish, you've done that. So in doing that, what we've got here, And did you have any? What were there any?
Hey, I'm there. Sorry.
Okay, well, we're going to pass you for a second. Avish, if you've got these all set up, how difficult was it to put these into Web Marketing Magic? Is this a difficult process? What's the level of complexity of doing this?
The level of complexity is incredibly low. It's really easy to do. It just
Time consuming.
takes however long to upload 50 tracks one at a time.
Got it. So in other words, it's not a complex task, but it is time consuming.
A little bit, but you don't have to. You just upload it and you're watching TV and you do one at a time. So.
Right. Now, Dave, with your site, where can we see all the videos listed?
Which site are you talking about?
You tell me. We're looking for videos. Have you been listening so far?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so tell me, show me something where you've got some granular approach to training.
Well, on my authority site, I have.
Give me that URL.
Yeah, Authority Site 101.
Okay.
And that'll redirect. But then there's what I call How Do I Training, which is what people say, hey, how do I do this?
Got it. So we go down to How Do I, which is sort of down at the bottom here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
here it is.
A little bit further down. There it is.
There we go.
So the How Do I
training site, and what happened is you were getting questions, or you thought you'd get questions on these various topics from people after they bought the product, correct?
Exactly. And so I just jotted, every time somebody asked me a question that I found that I'm answering over and over again, I jotted it down and I recorded a video and I added some text and even some screen grabs so I can just point them to this page and say, watch the video, look at the pictures. I even put some downloads, some arrows, so I don't have to, it's a mini version of the Khan Academy.
Got it. So in other words, copyright text. Here's a 1 minute and 6 second video on this. And I mean, again, talk about granular. Here it is. And will this auto launch here for us?
Yep. Okay, very quick video here showing you how to change this copyright line at the very bottom of the page. Very, very easy to do as long as you know where to go to change it, which I'm going to show you right now. In your dashboard, go down to Alieska.
Yep. Great example, again, of taking this. So what you did was, now, did you come up with any of these topics in advance of people asking you questions, Dave?
No, I solely based on, I knew the direction, what people were going to need to do to create it, but a lot of them were just people coming back to me, say, this doesn't make sense. Can you show me how to do that? And sometimes being the techie, I assume people understand it, which is not a good thing. So I had to go back and re-record some of them to make sure they're clear.
Got it. Now, this one here, so adding video content to the video pages, 5 minutes and 34 seconds. None of them were very long, were they?
That was the longest. In fact, I have a bit of a pet peeve when I buy a product and someone says, here's the training video. It's 80 minutes long. It has everything you need. I'm like, well, I only need one question answered. Don't make me sift through a gigantic video. So the little bite-sized morsels are what I like. So I think a lot of people like it as well.
I agree. And I think that this is really well done. I've looked at a few of these. I haven't looked at all of them, but again, 442. And again, that does look like the longest, which is just over 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's great. And have you, as a result of putting these up, what's been your experience?
Well, the great thing about it is, while I love giving great service, I'm not hounded by questions anymore. I can point people there, and they learn on their own, which frees up my time to do other things.
Excellent. Okay, so good. So this is an example there. And by the way, one of the things that I promised everybody who was on the webinar today is that, and this is a good example. And Dave, you're one of the things you're moving towards is a more product-based sort of formula for yourself. One of the things that I'm going to be doing today, because I promised everybody who got on the webinar that I'd do this, especially and only for the people who got back to me, and here's what I'm going to do. So this is my sort of special super secret deal that I'm doing. So here's the special deal offer. And as all of you know, I've done, many programs with Bob Bly. So I do a lot of Bob Bly programs. And so what I've decided to do is with the most recent one, which is on marketing using affiliates that we put together, is I decided I was going to try something different. And I only wanted to do it for, a maximum, because I'm just testing this out. So 5 people, and I was going to do this just for anyone who's on the webinar. So if anybody's on the webinar, and again, you'll need the super secret password to know that you were on the webinar here, and it's only going to be good for the next 24 hours, so that anybody who watches this after the fact won't be able to take advantage of that. But here's what I'm doing. I decided that what I'm going to do is, just to see if it works, I'm going to give people a license to sell this product. And I'm going to give you that license. And this should become a very popular Bob Bly product. So, and it'll probably retail for, Bob sells them for $127. I usually do a temporary offer, $77, but usually they're right around $97. And so I wanted to see how responsive this group would be if 5 people could get the license to sell this product for, and again, this is a test, repeat, this is only a test for $397. The password would be Big Duck. So in an email to me, fredgleeck@gmail.com, if you're watching and you put in your subject line Big Duck, I will give you that first 5 people at that price to see. Now that'll allow you to sell that program and keep all the profits for yourself. The only stipulation is you can't change any of the product itself. So just, if you're interested, let me know. So that's the special offer that I claimed everybody would get. And so we'll move on from here. But again, if you want that, so it's a program. And by the way, how long does this program run? I think it's somewhere just north of 2 hours, between 2 and 3 hours, closer to 2 hours. And again, it'll retail probably for somewhere around $100, maybe a little bit less. So anybody who wants that, let me know. Again, I'm just doing this as a test to see what's going on and whether or not that approach will work to selling a product. Now, back to, let's see. I guess, Bill, we've got Mr. O'Hanlon. We have 2 things that are going to be relaunching shortly, publishingabook.com and paidpublicspeaker.com. Both of these will have 2 options now when people go to it. And why don't we tell people we're still going to have the personalized service one, which will be $297, right?
Right, which involves 2 live coaching calls with us and a bunch of interaction with us on a discussion board. So for people who need a little more, hand-holding, help, ongoing encouragement and feedback, that's worth your investment. You can't get us. Both of us are hundreds of dollars an hour, and you get us for a lot of time. So that's good. And then we decided we didn't want to leave people out who didn't want to invest that much money or wanted to get to know us a little better before they jumped into the more expensive thing, and have a $97 a month self-paced where you can go through it on your own. We have a bunch of products, and that's also included, obviously, in the $297 option. But what's missing is, if you think you're a self-starter and you can do it on your own, you don't need us to coach you and give you feedback on your titles and on everything you're doing. You don't need to run it by us. You can get by on $97 a month. If you're a self-starter who just wants to learn this stuff and go do it, that $97 function, and it's the same deal for Paid Public Speaker. And there is really a third option, but it's not a coaching option. You can just buy each of the individual products. We have about $6,000 worth of products on both of these options. And so you can also buy it individual product. You say, I just want to learn to write a proposal and submit to an agent. You can buy the stuff on proposals and agents. And if you say, I just want to learn about speakers bureaus, you can buy the stuff on speakers bureaus for a speaker. So you can pick and choose as well. So there are 3, if you're thinking this, if we're talking about our business model, there are 3 monetization models, as Avisha was asking earlier. How does Khan Academy monetize? We monetize by selling individual products, which is passive income. We like that. We monetize by the self-paced thing, which is passive income. And then it's active income, or a combination of active and passive, I guess. We do the coaching, individual or group coaching, and we do that on the phone and through the website. And also you get mentorship from us, as well as sort of a brainstorming and feedback and focus group of your own, and encouragement group, because the other group members encourage each other, and that's turned out to be a really significant element of the group coaching, more the 297 version.
Yeah, and I think that everybody can benefit from this model, because basically we're saying that, hey, now the thing about it is, when people go to buy one of the individual products, they'll usually find themselves scratching their heads and saying, well, wait a second, if I just pay a little bit more, I can get a full month of coaching, and I can get this product and a whole lot of other products, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you think of 6,000. If you really wanted every product, and we've got some terrific products, if you really wanted every product, it'd be well worth your while to get into the either $97 or $297 coaching, because we'll trickle out the products over the months, and they'll definitely be more than $297 and $97 worth for your bang for your buck, if you want to do it that way. So that's kind of good. The other thing is, I forgot to mention, on the $97 one, there will be a discussion board as well. We won't be on there, so that's why it's not such a coaching from us, but it's coaching from your peers, and it's encouragement and feedback from your peers, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and so now what we're trying to do, though, is to make it so that everybody can be sort of met where they have their needs. And so I think this is a good, this is a good option for people. Now, the other thing is that if we're having, and in terms of the logistics of this, if we have sort of, let's assume it's a 12-month program, the question then becomes, so 12 months, so each month has its own discussion board. So people who are paid for that month go in there. Then Bill and I started talking about this, and we said, and by the way,
it's really a module.
Yeah, it's a module. So each month has it. So each module month/module has its own.
Each month is kind of a module.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in doing that,
yeah, right.
We then said, and by the way, I did reserve a domain name for this. I'm not sure what it was, but now the natural question is, so at the end of this, if somebody's gone through 12 months of coaching, what's next? And so what we did is we created sort of an ongoing sort of graduate program. And that's going to be so that people who come out, once they're done with the 12 months of one or 12 months of the other, can get put into this group. And you've already had, pretty much experience with Next Level, right?
I have I have a smaller coaching group that people who've gone through I did boot camps on both of these, wanted to go to the next level and wanted to have ongoing peer support as well as coaching from me. And, some people just want that ongoing motivation, coaching, feedback, encouragement, idea generation thing, but they've already mastered the basics. They don't need to go over the basics. They don't need more information in terms of how to write a book or how to become a speaker or how to do the basics of internet marketing or information marketing. But they do like that ongoing creativity, support, ongoing encouragement, and feedback. So, yeah, we thought, this is I don't know what the cost is. That's a great question.
Yeah, I think that we came up with
the cost, but I have no idea.
I think we came up with basically the same as the other, or at least that is a starting point.
$297 a month.
Yeah.
Well, in my other group, I charge more. I charge more than that, so I think that's absolutely fair. I think it's great, and you're getting two of us for the price of one.
Yep.
Or three of us. Three of us of these joins every once in a while.
Yeah, and again, we're not sure on this, but if you look at this model, folks, everybody, I mean, you can buy the products individually, okay? So let's do option one is buy products individually. Now, option two is buy group coaching on the high end, which is the $297, okay? And then three is buy group self-paced, and that is $97. And then you can also buy ongoing graduate support. Now, I mean,
well, I'll say one more thing. I'll just say one more thing, and
sure.
that is, if they opt out of all this stuff, the first three, and they say, "Oh, I don't know, I got to think about it," we also we give them a bribe to get on our mailing list, so we can let them know when the next one's launching and when the next thing is launching. So we don't even lose them. Actually, most of them take the free bribe and say, "Oh yeah, I'll be on your mailing list. Just give me the free ebook or audio or whatever we're offering related to that topic." So when they leave, because some people just can't decide right at that moment, or they're uncertain, and when we give them the great freebie, they might come back and say, "Gosh, these guys know their stuff," and so yeah, I'm joining.
Yeah, and I think that that's it's a good model for doing that. And I was, I just think that this makes a lot of sense. But the question that people would have would be, okay, well then, how much of our time is taken up to do this? And the answer is some, but we also, I mean, at least for me, there's a lot of other ideas that are stimulated from this and relationships that are built. Other thoughts on why it's worth it to do this, Bill?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 2 hours on the phone, or 3 hours for the speaking one, because we have 3 people, and occasionally one of us has to miss it, but pretty much all 3 of us or both of us are on the phone. So it's 2 to 3 hours minimum. And then, because the discussion boards are active, it's probably another, I don't know, 2-3 hours maybe per month.
I would agree.
It's about that much, and just depends on how active people are and what's going on that month. But so basically, for 6 hours a month, we, again, we have, if you want to do the math, we started out, I think, with 18 people in the speaking one and 15, if I remember, in the book coaching one. We're about to go again, and we'll probably have about that many. And so you do the math; it's well worth it. The other thing, element, we tested one of 2 things. One is have people sign up monthly, and the other one is have them sign up for 6 months total right at the beginning. And we found the 6-month model worked way, way, way better for stick rate and for activity. I have kind of a marker. I have tabs on my Safari, my browser, and I can tell when new content goes up on each site. On the speaking one or on the authors one. The speaking one we launched second, so we tried the 6-month model. I can tell you it's updated much more frequently than the authors one, which is monthly. And we are getting better results and better participation when we ask people to make a pre-commitment, is what we've learned. We're going to test that and say 3 months versus 6 months. That may work, because it's a good investment to go 6 months, and that may drop some people out. But boy, we got much better participation and engagement.
Again, I realize it's all speculative, but what's your guess as to why?
They don't have to make a decision every month. I think it's hard for people to make decisions. I think, it's that cognitive dissonance. I paid this much money, better get my money's worth, that kind of thing. So I don't know the answer to that. I think a few people have that mindset. I think some people, unfortunately, two of the people, I would say, but one of them especially, paid his 6 months, and he's been on the site once. And he wrote me about a month ago and said, "Oh, I've screwed up, and I need to get my credentials to get back on." We sent him his credentials again. He's never showed up. So it doesn't move everybody to pay that much money for the option to lose that much money, but it moves enough people. It creates momentum and engagement. And once a few people get very active, it encourages the rest of the people. That's my speculation.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that some people will give money and do nothing, because they somehow feel if they pay the money, things will. It's like the secret, Bill. Money will magically come to them.
Magically happen. Well, this guy's out $1,782 because we gave a money back guarantee, but the money back guarantee had an asterisk, and that is, if you fully participate and do the exercises, we guarantee you will get your book published, or you will get a speaking engagement at the end of this time that you put in. But if you didn't do anything, sorry, that ain't on us.
Yeah, exactly. And so the thing is that this kind of a model, works pretty well. Now, one of the things that we should probably discuss, and since I'm sure I can look at my list, and even if the person were on the call, I wouldn't be concerned. Let's talk about what happened recently with somebody who worked or tried to work or paid Dave and then decided somehow something wasn't for her. What can we do better or differently there, Dave and Bill?
Well, there were two people that I remember, and they both had slightly different issues.
Yeah, one lady, and they're both very kind people, but one asked me to build an authority site, that Authority Site 101, which I put up and had the training available and tried to have everything they needed. And I think her thought process was, well, this sounded like a good idea, but I'm not sure I even want to do this, so forget it. I'll just want my money back, which was discouraging because it was time that I invested, but it made me think, well, how easy do I need to make it? And you can only make things so easy. They've got to do something. But then I thought some people are just gonna not want to do anything, and it was within the time period, so we gave her money back, and it wasn't a big deal. So I don't know. If you guys have ideas on how to avoid those situations, I'm all ears.
Yeah, any ideas?
I think you do manage expectations and all that stuff. But I think one of them, she, at least from her report, she wanted to put a logo up on her site, and you said, okay, just Photoshop, and she was like, I don't know how to use Photoshop, and that was way beyond what her level was. But that was a different person, I think, and maybe a different product. But I think there's, Fred and I have talked about this. When I first got into all this information marketing, I'm a Mac user. I'm not that technical. I am not that technical. That's why I got a Mac. And, for me, everything seemed daunting. And so I didn't know how to make a squeeze page. And there were nobody to do it at that time. I couldn't find anybody to do it. So it took me 4 years to have a squeeze page, to have a landing page. I swear to you, I knew I should have one. I just didn't have one. And so, then all of a sudden automated squeeze pages came along, and I was like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And, but still, they send you a bunch of code, and it's like, okay, where do I put this? And that's when you need the videos that David's made and all that stuff. So I think the one thing is to make things easy and give people instructions. But there's a second thing, and Fred and I have talked about this, that is they just tell you what they want, and then it's done for them. And I think that's what people are expecting sometimes from you, Dave, and you've got to make it clear, no, that will cost you a great deal more money to have it done for you. This is all prepared for you, and you have to dump in the content and learn how to do these, go watch these videos. So I think it's partly managing expectations, but I'm telling you, never underestimate the obliviousness of people or the fears that they have about technical things. I told Fred this one time, I put out a brochure, and I said, we were walking in New York, I told the story. I put out a brochure, and it said, $97 for one person, and $79 for groups of 3 or more. And someone wrote and said, do you mean $79 for the whole group or $79 per person? And I thought that was kind of obvious, but I guess it's not. I have to make the expectations so clear. It's $79 per person for groups of 3 or more. And
Dave, and yeah, good. I agreed, Bill. That's great. Dave, what I was thinking of is whether it's you or Bill or anyone else. I mean, I think Dave, yours is an example, but Bill, you too. It would be one of the things that would be cool is to start cross-pollinating our sites with mini modules from all of us. So, Dave, if you wanted to put up, on my site, 8 to 10 mini modules about various kinds of topics that relate a little bit to what you do, I'll be happy to throw them up on my site, give you credit, link them to your site.
That's awesome. I think that's a wise thing. And, with this Khan Academy type of mindset, it's almost like when you think of something, just record it and add it to the library, and as long as there's a link or something like that. But I think that's a great idea, Fred, and we can talk some more about that.
Yeah, and the thing about it is,
I agree. I think that's fantastic because I would want to watch the videos before I bought the product to see, is this my level of expertise? Is this what I'm willing to put in? And then at the end, you put in your link with the affiliate stuff if we're selling it for you as affiliates. So.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is that, hey, I mean, all I'm doing is, the whole Khan Academy thing resulted from this guy getting asked questions by his nieces and nephews, I think. That was it, right, Bill?
Yep.
And so it's as if your customers, so the problem I think that most people have is when they think of the word product, especially information product, they think huge, big, voluminous. BS. Information products can be as little as 30 seconds and as long as 30 hours and everything in between. And I think that the more you cut it up, the more granular you make it, the more precisely targeted. When I go onto that Khan Academy site, I mean, I just see I look at this and I go, man, I can break this down and I can see all different kinds of little things. And so when I'm thinking about, not just for me, but for my stepkids, well, they're having a problem on, this kind of an equation or understanding parallel lines. I mean, I can pull up, the thing on parallel lines, and there's this is a 3-minute video on parallel lines. It doesn't have to be long. It's just got to cover the topic in depth and in detail so that people, when they're done with it, go, oh, I get it. Now I know what that means. And I think that people overcomplicate the crap out of all of this stuff. And so, Dave, so let's talk a little bit, about it, which is, I can say to Dave, I can say to Bill, I can say to Avish, hey, Avish, if you have an idea that would be, like, say, for example, Avish, you had a thing about, 3 clever openings for a speech, and you could record a 6-minute video on that. So you put it up on YouTube, and I put up a link, to your page on YouTube. I mean, because it's relevant to my group. And Bill has something on, 5 essential tips to getting an agent for your book. Boom. Now the question is, what form must this take? Must it be video? No. Might it be audio? Yeah. Might it be PDF? Absolutely. It's whatever works, what'll work best to train the person on whatever the topic is. I think that's what it's all about. Bill, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I think, I think you think very clearly about this, because if it's something like Dave's doing, a screencast video is a no-brainer. That I wouldn't want an audio, and I wouldn't want a PDF. I wouldn't read them. Frankly, Helen was trying to peel a boiled egg, a hard-boiled egg. It wasn't going well, and I went on the internet and I found 2 videos of how to easily peel a hard-boiled egg, and we watched them. I wouldn't have read a PDF. I wouldn't have listened to an audio about it. Some things lend themselves to videos, and some things can go in any of the forms, like 10 ways to find an agent. You're right. That could be video, that could be audio, that could be PDF, but some things just say screen video. And this guy, the Khan Academy guy, he was communicating with his, nieces and nephews way across the country. He went into the closet. He had this little light pen that he used with his tablet, and that's how he created the darn things. And it wasn't high tech. He just recorded it on his laptop. That was it.
And one of the main reasons why he did that too, although I don't think he talked about this, is the fact that hosting on YouTube is free. So for him, even though it was writing using the tablet and then recording the video, made it the cheapest and easiest way to get that material to people.
Absolutely, and it had to be less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, and on top of that, I thought it was strategic that he put it on YouTube, because anybody searching Google or YouTube or whatever for how do I find parallel lines in algebra, his probably will come up along with the other thousands of things. So traffic from YouTube has got to be a major player, even for people that don't know what the Khan Academy is.
Okay, explain.
Well, that's how he got his first. That's how he got his first $100,000. Is the wife of a very famous venture capitalist, John Doerr, saw his videos and was using them for her kids and gave him $100,000. Said, "Wait a minute, he's not charging any for this, and he's not even advertising on the site. Here's $100,000. Keep going."
Yeah. See, now, Dave, just might happen to you too, buddy.
Yeah, well, hey, let's all hope.
Bill Gates.
Exactly.
Is gonna watch your
Well,
stuff,
but I think that the more, the more granular that we make it, the better. Okay, so again, anybody who wants the offer that I just made, I did this offer, email me and use the word Big Duck in the subject line. But everybody, thanks a lot. Great participation. Got a lot of good information. I hope everybody had a good time.